get some stuff updated here. First of all, adjust my screens a little bit here. Update our stream title. Let's see, Building Savvy. Accepted into Opam, by the way. Docs menu on the menu bar. Okay. Chat. Oh, hey Jing. There is some fancy. Sorry, my chat was all messed up. Yeah, I've been working on some background music. I've got 2 other ones, but I have to convert them to MP3 still. Oh. Man, I'm so pumped. My OAuth library was just accepted into the Opam repository. Now we've got to really make it good. I mean, sort of. It already actually works, so there's that. That's always good. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off last time? What was I doing? I was working on GitHub. Oh yeah, I need to make a GitHub integration. Well, I'm really like so frazzled for like literally rolling up, getting ready to turn the stream on and getting an email saying that, or noticing an email. Looked like the email was actually sent a while back, 8 hours ago, but I didn't see it. Here we are. Crazy. Man. Also, if my voice is too loud or too quiet, please say something. Because it's so hard to know. All right. Wow. Okay, what was I doing? I should check git log. Git log will tell me what I was doing last. Prepare for public auth by moving client secret. Oh, right, public auth, yeah. So in OAuth, sounds good to me. GitHub integration. Yeah, GitHub integration. Come on, Jing. You gotta integrate with things. It's gonna be, well, it's not as fancy as it sounds. It's just like, so GitHub has OAuth applications and GitHub apps in GitHub. Actually, let me pull it up because I need to do some more reading on it too. And they are essentially living or free OAuth 2 servers. Yeah, these guys. So they're free servers, free auth servers that GitHub lets you use to interact with. I actually don't know what the limits are in terms of like MAUs or anything like that. Like it might be free forever. I don't know. But it's one of the more common ones that people use with their side projects because GitHub as well as Google are the 2 things, like depending on your audience. Like GitHub's the auth service that you want to use if your audience is primarily developers, which is my audience. But hopefully also someday my audience will be people that want to build things for non-developers as well, at least in Savvy. All right, so we are looking at, not this. We're going straight to confidential right now. When I built Savvy, I built it with the understanding that all connections are confidential, which is not really a good expectation, but it was the expectation I started with because I had to ship something, and shipping everything confidentially is the easiest path when you're building an OAuth integration. So now I'm having to go back and fix that. So I'm getting a weird error. I was playing with this last night, and I'm getting a weird error from, let's open a couple of these. Let's go to our OCaml OAuth client. This builds, yes. Check that vendor, check that we're up to date on our Savvy. Don't steal my password. Cool, up to date. So we can do a Dune exec deck dash watch. Yeah, so we can do that. Oh man, Jing, we've got to set up your local environment for Next.js today too. Man, we should do that on stream. That could be fun. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. Next.js is pretty simple to set up. We should just have to make sure that we need to make sure that your environment variables are configured correctly. Make sure that you have your packages installed. So you'll probably have to install. I'm trying to remember. I think the newest Macs maybe come with Node.js on them. I'm not positive. We'll have to look and see. Make sure you have Node.js and npm. And we'll have to make sure that you get your packages installed, and then you should be able to just run it. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, it's up. Here we go. All right. So here's what I was playing with last night. Public. So if I go to public, this is a public auth. And I'm realizing I should probably stop using my real personal email in this box, especially when I'm on stream. Oh well, that's a problem for later. Ooh, I can use my, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yep, we're just gonna keep using it. I've got a really good spam blocker. So we'll do this. Now when I click this, it breaks, and it says that I'm missing a client ID argument in header or URI argument. That's such a weird one, because pretty sure I have, or at least when I guess I've made some changes. I originally was just taking out the client secret, and I was still getting this missing client ID argument in header or URI argument. So the fact that it's saying header or URI argument makes me think that this is related to authenticating against a token endpoint, which I'm not sure how I do with this public version. Oh, all right, cool. I'll see you when you get to work, Jing. Well, I mean, I won't see you, but yeah. Have fun. Good luck out there. How do I shout you out? All right. So, client ID, or header and URI argument, those are the two places where the token endpoint would traditionally look for authentication details, because in OAuth 2, with our token endpoint, we're either going to be passing the client ID and the client secret URL encoded in the body, is a URI encoded in the body, which would be your URI argument, or we're going to be appending them together with a colon and then base 64 encoding them and passing them to the passing them through the authorization header with a basic auth type. So it'd be authorization header with basic and then that big base 64 hash. So I'm not sure. We're going to have to just kind of play around with this. Again, for anyone joining for the first time, this is a dummy auth server. All these client IDs and client secrets, they're useless to you. I mean, I guess if you really, really want to auth against my fake server, that's probably not going to last forever. I mean, be my guest, but I don't really see what you get out of that. There's no valuables in it. Anyway. So let's go to public. Here's public. So we got our client ID is blah, and our client secret is none. So that's our new change. The change I made last night was that I want us to pass an option type to client secret instead of just a string, because I don't want to have to try to like figure out some other fancy way to do it. I just like option types. Like, man. Oh, nice. Hey, Will, what's up, man? Thanks for the the music is awesome. The music was just a fun. My son and I have been investigating like 80s video games, because we have the Nintendo Switch and we have the like Switch Online family thing, and so we've been playing all like the retro video games, and we had a brief period of playing Castlevania for a while. So this particular song is Castlevania inspired music. But is it too loud, or is it just right? Not too loud. Okay, cool. Just right. Perfect. All right. Yeah, the throwbacks on Switch are so good. I cannot believe the value we get for so little money. I don't even remember how much it is, but yeah. Can really only hear it when you pause talking. Okay, cool. I try not to pause talking too much. I actually have no idea what I'm doing, but I try not to pause talking too much. Dude, I want the Switch 2 as well. I registered interest with Nintendo, whatever that means. I did not pre-order it from GameStop, though. I had better luck when I bought a PlayStation 5, but I didn't get into like several years after, like 2 years after it came out. They were still super hard to get, and I could not find them anywhere. And I ended up registering interest with Sony. And then one day Sony just emailed me. I was like, hey, do you want to buy one? And I said yes, and then they let me buy one. So I'm taking the exact same road with the Switch 2 this year. Registering my interest. I have the family expansion pack. I've heard that that's like the thing. You have to have an active online membership, and you have the like, I don't know if you need the expansion pass, but yeah, an active family membership. So how does one register interest? This is a great question. I'm actually trying to remember myself. Nintendo Switch to register interest. How to buy the Nintendo Switch 2? From the My Nintendo store. Sign into your Nintendo account and register your interest. I'm obviously not going to do that on stream, but yeah, if you just go sign into your My Nintendo, then you get to make your pick. I think I chose the Mario Kart World bundle. Wow. I'm pretty excited about the Mario Kart World thing. It looks interesting. I love the idea of an MMORPG Mario Kart game. I don't really understand how that's going to work, but I love the idea of it. All right. So client secret. Let's go back to Savvy. It sounds maybe awesome. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. It could be really cool. It could also be terrible. It could be like the Crazy Taxi of the Mario world, though. Right? Like looking back, like Crazy Taxi really wasn't like a terribly great game, but like it just lives on in my brain forever as like the ultimate old school game. It was actually pretty awesome, though. I guess I shouldn't just say it wasn't awesome. It was actually a pretty awesome game. Let's see. Where am I going? I need to get token exchange. Token exchange. So we're looking to see if there's a client secret there's no client secret, then we're just not passing client head and client secret. Okay. I don't think that's, I don't know what I'm, actually, let's try this. OAuth to public authentication flow. Explained in simple terms. I'm not simple. OAuth, I'll explain types when using. I see all these auth 0 ones, but I really want, this is where it just was, right? Yeah. Does this, let's just look for public. Here we go. Clients are capable of maintaining confidentiality. Yep, that's this. That's who we're talking about here. Authorization server should not make assumptions about the client type. Client may be implemented as a distributed set of components. Yeah. So here's where I'm kind of like conflicted. I'm actually not sure if an OCaml app can really ever be public. Like OCaml is always going to run on the server. It's always going to run in a private context. And I don't really know what it looks like. I guess I don't know enough about the OCaml or JS of OCaml package. I don't know if it's possible for that Savvy could be like cross-compiled into JavaScript and then run in the browser. Maybe that would be a problem. I actually know far too little about OCaml to be the one doing this probably, but here we are. Sometimes we just got to take a risk. Yeah, okay, cool. User agent-based application, yeah. Native application, yeah. Client authenticated. If a client type is confidential, client authors are establish a client authentication method suitable for the security requirement. Okay. So maybe you can't. Maybe you can't authenticate the authorization code flow. Is there a public authentication? Ugh. Public authorization code flow auth 2. I don't feel like there is a public version of this. Doesn't really make sense for there to be a public version. Code challenge. Oh, maybe you have to have Pixie enabled. That could be. I am passing Pixie though, right? Yeah, I'm using SHA-256 Pixie, the strongest form of Pixie, which is such a crazy thing to say about a flow that sounds so cute and adorable. All right. How do I get a token from, you know what, I should probably just ask AI. Let's just do it. This has been like, every time I get into one of these spots, I ask the AI, and it's a 50-50 shot about whether I'm going to get something just absolutely nuts or very helpful. In an OAuth to authorization code flow, if the client is public rather than confidential, how does one retrieve a token from the token endpoint without any credentials credentials. Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. 4 years old. Alright, explain it like you're 4. Imagine you have a magic coloring page. Alright, I'm on board. That's the app you're using. You want some special crayons. Access token. So you can color it in. But you're not allowed to get the crayons directly. You need to ask a grown-up. That's the authorization server. Wow, I should have been asking this thing to talk like I'm 4 the whole time. Now, if you're a public kid, if you're a public kid, public client, the grown-up knows you're not strong enough to keep a secret. No password or credentials. That's okay. You still get the crayons. You ask nicely. Is that how I get into all my authentication servers? You go to the grown-up and say, hey, can I please have a note that says I can get crayons? That's called getting an authorization code. Okay, cool. Step 2, you bring the note back. You take that note, the code, and give it to the crayon desk, the token endpoint. Even though you don't have a secret password, the grown-up checks, is this a real note? Did this kid really get it from me? Did they bring it back quickly? If everything looks good, the grown-up says, okay, here are your crayons, and gives you the access token. Even without a secret, the note you bring, authorization code is proof that you asked the right way and were approved. Would you like me to show this with a simple picture? I gotta know what picture. Alright, let's do a picture. Here we go. Oh, it's just searching the internet. Okay, less interesting. And the picture didn't load. Man. Okay, well that's not helpful. Back to the real code. Let's see. Got an authorization code. Got my redirect URI. If Pixie is enabled, I'm gonna append Pixie. Or I'm gonna pass the verifier that I have. Oh, maybe I'm not, I need to make sure that, oh, because I'm hitting the callback. Well, that's fine, it shouldn't care about that. It should take any state value because we just store state in memory. Alright, let's see. So we've got public config, got our authorization endpoint, got our client ID. We're not passing a secret because we don't have one in this case. We're using Pixie. Pixie verifier is none. That's fine. We want to set it to none because that way Savvy will generate it for us. We've got a redirect URI that's going to take us back to callback. Good. We're only asking for the group's read scope because we don't really need anything. Token auth method is basic, so I wonder if I should have another kind of token auth method that's just nothing, like a none. That could be helpful. Then we got the token endpoint that's taking us to our public application. Everything there looks right. What does the URL look like? Taking me to the application, response type code, client ID, redirect URI, callback, scope, copy link address. Let's do. Give me the scopes, and then gives me a state value that it makes up kind of on the fly. Savvy does a good job of just like making up stuff, making up secrets. Alright, so we close. So it's got all this stuff. It gets the callback. Where in the callback is it? It's failing because it's trying to unwrap. Well, no, it's failing here. It's telling. It says tell Scotty I do give a message. So it's failing on token result, which means that it is not. It's not. So it's failing in token code, for exchange code for token. Because if we get to this error, which is where we're at, that means that token result did not match with a valid token response type. So that means, let's pop back over here. So that means that in here we're failing somewhere. Actually, it means we're failing here. One of these two is being hit, and judging by the fact that the log is being logged right here, I think that means it's this one that we're hitting. So let's do this. Well, we'll just change it over here because it'll be faster. Savvy slash this one. Next. Whoops. That. So what we'll do is duplicate this, and let's do error. What? Do I not have a I think I need to build something to let me make that error code into a string. So let's see. Yeah, token error code. Actually, can I just do this? Can I just straight use this already? Okay, this expression has type or string of string, when expression expected of type string. I don't know. Hello? String dot to string. Okay, new gen. Yeah, clear it. In OCaml, how do I convert a type of string to string? Nope, that's not what I asked. Did it not? Hello? In OCaml, how do I convert a type of string to string? Oh man, it strips out the backticks. Okay. What is string prime or string? Whatever that is, string something. not go that route. I don't really know if I care about what the error description is. Wait, maybe we do this. How to build a converter from a custom type to a string. Non-built-in types to string. Okay. He wants preprint symbolic expressions in the ML syntax. There are libraries deal with so-called SCXP, but I never used them. I cannot comment. Why are you posting here? Custom formatter. I don't really want to build a custom formatter right now. I was kind of hoping there was just like some like thing I could put afterwards, after the name of my type that just has like a convert to string. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. We won't do that right now. I do need to figure out why this is, why it's mad though. Let's see. Two methods. So we're failing here. We're failing in our response. So something in the upstream is not liking it. Not liking it all. So what is the upstream not liking? The upstream is probably not liking the fact that client ID and client secret are not there. Maybe I still need client ID no matter what. Maybe I always need client ID. That could be. Let's try that. Let's take this here. Let's put it here. That rebuilt successfully. Good. Try to authenticate. Oh, that's weird. Why is it up so high? Oh, whatever. Don't steal my code. Tell Scotty, state value did not match a known session. Oh, hello, 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 hello. Okay. That's a new one. State value did not match a known session. I have not seen this error before. This is an interesting one. And this is also being returned. Oh, this is tell Scotty. So this is being returned from the auth server. State value did not match a known session. How could that be true? I started the session. Exchange. It goes to the storage that we've implemented, and it takes a state value and a code. And it's passing. Wait, we don't pass state value. Wait, is that an error from the auth server? Hold on. State value did not match. State value did not match a known session is an error from me. Okay. So Savvy failed to find the session in this case. Where is the other part of this? Oh, this is the end of exchange token. So I'm getting a state value back that does not match a known quantity in the what? Hold on. I get that state value from the auth server. Savvy should be tracking any of these states, all of these states. I don't think I need to create a different callback one, right? Like the token exchange one should, whoops, the token exchange thing should just work for both sides. Let's just try it again. Let's see what happens if I do it again. I should get the same error. If I get a different error, then we're confused. Then we're in trouble. Oh, shucks. A different error. Okay. Oh, now we're back to missing client ID. But I have the client ID. Should I maybe still be encoding the token auth method for public authorization code app? Yeah, that doesn't make. Here's something from X. Let's see what they do. Refresh token. All my credentials stay valid. Okay, you're still required to include client ID in the body for the requests with a public client. Okay. I think I see it. I think I see the problem. So our token auth method is set to basic. So the code's not getting added to the body. Maybe we should just, is there any reason why I don't want to just always pass the client ID in the body? The client ID is not a secret. Not a secret. The client ID should be okay to pass. That's like a username. That's a username. Okay. Let's try that. Let's come back to public. Refresh this page. Not that it really matters. Double check that this rebuilt. It did. Cool. Let's authenticate here. Let's grab my 6-digit code. Come on. Let's continue my account. Oh. Oh. That did the trick. All right. So here's what's happening. So we have to have a client ID because remember, as ChatGPT told us, the grown-up, when we're asking for our crayons, is going to not only look at the paper, but it's also going to make sure that the child is the same child. So I want to say that I'm talking to the same adult and that I'm the same child, getting my crayons, using my crayon coupon or whatever it was, crayon pass. So I need that client ID to always be in the body. It's probably not necessary to be in the body at all times. Let's give this a shot. Let's, I don't think it hurts anything to always be in the body. We can definitely do some tricky stuff to make it not be in the body if we don't want it to be in the body. But I suspect that it's actually probably okay to have it in the body no matter what. Well, wait. Is there anything about... I feel like there may be some downside to having it in the body, right? Because we want, for a confidential client, it's going to be the client ID and the client secret appended together using a colon and then encoded, which in itself is not secure, right? Base 64, not a secure encoding medium. You can be decoded very quickly and very easily, like by anyone. Like you just go to just type in decode base 64 and there's thousands of websites. You just paste it and it gives you the results. Maybe I don't want, I should be fine. I should be able to put the client ID in the body no matter what. I can't think of any, like the client ID should be public. It should be secure enough. Or it's not a secret. Client ID is not a secret. OAuth 2 is client ID a secret. Client ID is not a secret. Wait, that's the AI overview. I can't trust that. Using the password, however, they are probably aware. Yeah, okay. The OAuth 2 protocol uses the client ID and secret. It considers the client ID to be public. All right, so client ID is a public data point. If client ID is a public data point, then we can put it in the body. And no one can tell us not to. All right, this solves our problem, I think. I think this solves it. So we're putting client ID in no matter what. This is the body, this is params, this is the body. So always putting the client ID in, maybe including a client secret. Specifically for our token auth method of basic, we're only gonna ever wrap that client ID and secret together if there is a secret, because that would be a confidential client that has a secret. All right, I think that gets us what we want now. So we do a do and build to double check, cool. Then we do a do and test to triple check, good. Get status, get add, get commit -m. What do I want to say here? Add client ID to body of every token request for public clients. Cool. All right. We're there. We've done it. That was our last checkbox. I don't know if you can see on my whiteboard over there. Way over there. No, I'm not going to be able to reach it with this button. That's the last checkbox we needed to check. Confidential clients work. Public clients work. We are now complete. OAuth 2 complete. And we can begin stage 2 of our evil plan. Not really evil. Building our GitHub integration. We want to be able to allow people using Savvy in their OCaml app to authenticate into GitHub, or at least like use the GitHub authentication flow, like from a GitHub app or an OAuth 2 app set up in GitHub, to be able to authenticate into their projects. Our key goal is that we want to make it so that OCaml as an ecosystem is friendly to SaaS startups, right? Like OCaml is awesome. If you've ever used TypeScript, OCaml is like the better version of that, but it's not on the browser. It's server side. And it compiles down to JavaScript. You can use like a JS of OCaml. And it's just awesome. And it's a wonderful place, wonderful language to use. And we want to build it in such a way that people who are starting their first ever startup could use OCaml to build that startup. Because I think that that is a worthwhile cause, and I think OCaml could be really good for that task. Because again, we don't want to just make the tool fit the problem. We want to find the right problem and use the right tool. And I think OCaml is the right tool for this job now. So we're building out Savvy so that we can have some kind of an auth platform or a library to use for auth platforms in OCaml. And then from there, we'll work on building some kind of a like a framework for building web apps. Something kind of like, we'll probably leverage like the Dream framework. OCaml's Dream framework is super nice. I enjoy it a lot. But I really want something that's shaped a little bit more like Laravel, because I do really like Laravel. I think that Taylor Otwell did some really great things with the way that he focused Laravel on making developers productive. And so I want to kind of like imitate that in some ways for OCaml. All right, git status. We're good. Did we push already? We pushed. Okay. We now have new stuff up there. All right, so we need to get GitHub. Let's go to our issues actually. Savvy. OCaml. Have we hit Google yet? OCaml Savvy. No. OAuth 2. That's me. Where's Savvy? GAPI, a simple OCaml client for Google. That's not right. Okay, whatever. GitHub, Savvy, OCaml. Wow, okay. Never mind, just going to GitHub the normal way. Going to Savvy. Alright. Oh, so here we have, we should update our README probably. We could talk about. Yeah, we at least need to update it because the README has mistakes in it now, because client secret is an option and not a string now. It's a string option and not just a regular string now, so we should at the very least update that. Oh, and my NeoVim config is not great with markups. Markup files, unfortunately. Every time I try to load one, it like breaks stuff. Super annoying. What am I doing here? I need to go to main first, so let's take a look. Yeah, the only thing I think I need to change in the README is just add some. Oh, I still need. Well, you can't have a public client credentials flow. That does not make sense. It's literally client credentials flow. Yeah. Unless you're a public client. All right, so let's go to README. All right. Client secrets. This is client credentials, authorization code, client secret, some. Yes, I'm aware. Client secret is some. Do I need to make any other changes here? Pixie, redirect URI. Replace with your client secret or none if a public client. Oh, one of these streams I'm gonna have to just sit down and learn how to actually configure my NeoVim correctly. All right, token exchange. That looks fine. There's no secret here. It's just that one spot, so we're good. We're good. Oh, why did I? Oh no, yeah. Get it. Commit. Oh wait, actually, before we do this, let's go to changes. Oh, another README. 0.3.0. Ooh, when do we go to 1.0.0? Does anybody have any opinions, like the two of you that are here? I just don't know when I'm gonna make that leap. I don't want to be stuck on minor versions forever, though, like NeoVim is. Like, when do I call a first version? I guess Maybe when I have GitHub and Google, I'll update it to version 1.0.0. Added. Handling for public clients by passing none to client secret. I guess this also counts as a changed. Confidential clients now need to pass a string option to client secret. All right. Update changelog. README. All right. Let's see what we need to do here now. There we go. So now we need to take a quick breather and look around at this GitHub app thing. In order to build a GitHub app, you need to register a GitHub app for more information. Okay. I have to do that on a different screen though. Yeah, we'll just read. Excuse me. We'll just read for now. Alright, in order to build a GitHub app, you need to write code, add functionality to your GitHub app. Okay, obviously. If your GitHub app is private, you can only install it on the account that owns the app. If your GitHub app is public, other users and organizations can also install it. Alright, let's at least see what this form looks like. Registering a GitHub app. Click on your profile photo. Navigate to your account settings. For an app owned by a personal account, click Settings, Organizations, Settings, Developer Settings, GitHub Apps, New GitHub App. Give it a name. Name must be unique across GitHub. Can't use the existing GitHub or the same name as an existing GitHub account unless it is your own user or organization name. Okay. Name can't be longer than 34 characters. Okay, not super important, but yeah. Optionally under description, type description, yeah. Homepage URL, okay. Callback URL, enter the full URL to redirect to after user authorizes the installation. Oh, that's right, I remember this. When I built, what was that app that I built? BitConquest. The current leaderboard of 4 people. Yeah. This lets me log in with GitHub. Yeah, so I remember this because I had to configure a name for it, and I ended up having to create multiple GitHub apps because I wanted to be able to do local development, but I also needed a production auth one, and they were going to be different. So I had a local GitHub app and a staging GitHub app and a production GitHub app, and each one of those had different people, and then I could configure them differently. Or not different people, they had different users, I guess, assigned to them. GitHub strongly recommends that you leave this option selected. Well, yeah, obviously I would never want my users' tokens not to expire. That's silly. Optionally, to prompt users to authorize your app when they install it, select Request User Authorization during installation. Okay. So that's our auth flow. Option under Setup URL to the URL to redirect users to after they install your app. If an additional setup is required after the installation, holy cow, this is... Why are there so many steps? 22 steps. Click Create GitHub App. Alright. Let me check to see if there's no, like, secret-y stuff on this page before I show this on stream, but I'd like to try and create a GitHub app. Wait, am I signed into GitHub up here? I'm not. Okay. Can I star my own package? Oh wait, I'm not signed in. Ah, flashbang. Alright, let's go to, what did it say? I'm supposed to go to developer settings. Left sidebar, click developer settings. Where are you? There we are, developer settings. New GitHub app. I have to confirm it's me. Using my mobile app. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. All right. I don't think there's anything dangerous on this page. So we'll show it off real quick. So here's what it looks like to create a GitHub app. And it really is as lengthy as this, this checklist would have us believe. So we'd have to give ourselves a GitHub app name. And it'll give us, we'll give a description. Full app tier GitHub apps website. So this is like, in the BitConquest example, this would be bitconquest.com. Identifying and authorizing users, the full URL to redirect to after a user authorizes an installation. Read our callback URL documentation. Let's read that. Copy link address. We're not actually going to play with this right now, so we'll use this tab. When you register a GitHub app, you'll specify a callback URL and use the web application flow to generate a user access token in order to act on behalf of user. Users will be redirected to the callback URL after they authorize. You can specify up to 10 callback URLs. Okay. When you prompt it. Okay. Callback URL is different from the setup URL. Users are redirected to the setup URL after they install a GitHub app. Users are redirected to the callback URL when they authorize a GitHub app via the web application flow. So is this not the same as an OAuth redirect URI? Like the terms that they're using, like the names like redirect URI here, kind of give me the impression that this is a redirect URI, but in an OAuth 2 flow, the redirect URI would be where I would make the request to the token endpoint using the authorization code that I was given. And this doesn't say anything about that. Maybe it's this, generating user access token. You can generate a user access token. Man, sorry. Lots of yawns today. User access tokens that expire are currently optional. Yeah, okay. They're subject to change. What? Okay. Web application flow to generate a user access. So, if your app runs in the browser, you should use the web application flow. Well, that's not where this Savvy is going to be running. Exchange the code from the previous step for a user access token. Okay, user accepts your authorization request, give a redirect user to one of the callback URLs. Okay, so it is a regular callback URL. This is a redirect URI. Provide a code and yeah, specify a state parameter. The previous step will also include a state parameter. Let's be real. If you are not including a state parameter in your OAuth 2 call, you might as well just call them on the phone and tell them that you want it. You're not secure. You need state. State parameter does not match state parameter that you set in the previous step. The request cannot be trusted. Fake. Man in the middle. The web application flow should be aborted. Okay. Exchange the code from the previous step for user access token by making a post request to the URL with the following parameters. Okay, that's their token endpoint. GitHub.com/login. I feel like let's close this. I don't need this anymore. I feel like we want to kind of start writing some pseudocode. Let's make a new module though. Let's go to src. So we've got OAuth 2 client as a module, and utils as a module, and storage is a module. I don't actually remember. I don't remember what I put in storage actually. Did I put anything? There's a file in there. Didn't end up using it though. Cool. Let's delete that. src storage ML, and then rm-rf storage as a directory. Cool. So let's look. I think we're gonna create. I think we just create a GitHub module. So make dir src/GitHub, and then let's explore this, shall we? Let's go to GitHub and let's create github.ml. Alright, so we're gonna write some pseudocode in here. No config file. Oh right, there's no Dune file. Let's go up and go to utils and grab this one. 5. Let's go back over to GitHub. Let's create a Dune file here. We'll paste. We're gonna call this one GitHub GutHub. New app idea. Savvy.github will be its public name. I don't actually have any idea what things I need in here yet. Let's just delete this stuff. Actually, wait. Let's keep LWT. Actually, let's keep that one too. Co-HTTP, because we're gonna have to make requests potentially, maybe, sort of, maybe, I think, yeah. All right, deriving JSON. I don't know if we need that. We'll keep it. I hate that the Dune file always shows up in front of my ML file. Super annoying. All right, so we need to write some pseudocode here. Let's see. We need to do a couple of things. Let's put these on separate lines. We need to create an auth URL. We need to create a URL for the developer to put in a button, right? We're gonna maybe we also create a button. I feel like that's outside of the scope of this. I think I want to build like some sort of a UX package at some point to go with Savvy, to where we can have it like, I don't know, maybe it'll be like Savvy buttons or Savvy UI or something. That way a developer using Savvy can like have Savvy generate simple HTML templates like for buttons that are already styled correctly to look like the log sign into GitHub button, and are already like actually let's do this. It's super hard to see otherwise. Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to do that right now though. So Savvy needs to generate a URL for GitHub. We need to know where the user is going to be directed to. And I think we have all the details we need from GitHub, or I think we can get all the details we need from GitHub for that. We also need a GitHub config. A GitHub config struct. So the GitHub config struct will hold just the random things that we need, like the client ID, client secret, callback URI, all that jazz. Whatever the stuff we've got to configure in GitHub, we'll need to configure in our app via Savvy. So we're going to create that. We're going to create a URL, and then I think we need to create a token exchange method. We might just be able to leverage our existing exchange code for token endpoint or method on the generic OAuth 2 module. I'm not positive though. We'll have to see. Yes, we need a struct. We need a URL to direct the user to, and we need to create the token exchange method. I really don't know what else we need in this case. That might actually be it. It's pretty straightforward to build since we've already got OAuth 2 built. It might be fine. That might be enough. All right, comment this back out. So we've got that. Let's come back to Savvy. Let's come to our issues. We want to have good hygiene here. All right, so this guy was a bug. Handle public and private. Oh wait, that's not signed in. Doop. So let's update this bug. Issues. Now the client ID will always be appended to the body of the request, and client secret will be used in tandem when the flow or when the application provides one. Cool. Done. So now we need to look at GitHub. Assign me. Here we go. She just built a new submodule for GitHub. Let's grab these. Roughly, we just need to do the following. Why are you the way that you are? Formatting. Cool. All right, that gets us there. Let's see. So that, I wish there was like a in progress. I don't know, I've been so conditioned as a software engineer that I need to go into Jira or Linear or whatever and mark my things as moving, or else I'm gonna get like a slap on the hand. All right, cool, we're assigned, we've commented, things are moving there. Buy Nintendo Switch. So let's, ooh, I don't have very much time left though. I need to head off soon to go to my real job. Let's see. Let's go to OAuth. Let's grab some stuff. I don't think I want to. I think when I want developers to use, actually, let's go to main. I think I want developers to go to directly to the GitHub one, right? Let's create a new handler. We'll call it GitHub. Whoops, I need that slash. So we've got GitHub. We'll start and so I think kind of what we want to do is we want to have them set up a GitHub config right away. Something like let config equals, I think I want it to be something like GitHub config, just for giggles and grins here. And I want to have their client ID. I should actually have created a GitHub issue so I can see what stuff's in there, but client ID equals your client ID, and I assume there'll be a secret. GitHub app client secret. I just want to see some pictures. There we go. Yeah. Why are you so blurry? My app. There we go. There's what one looks like. We'll look at someone else's picture. Why are these pictures so small? Application created successfully. Can I just Google the preview's too small? Whatever. So we got client ID, got client secrets, there's an application logo, an application name, homepage URL, application description, authorization callback URL, and the device flow. We actually don't handle the device code flow yet. That is another OAuth 2 flow, and we will have to build that at some point, but I have to figure out how to test it. Like, I don't even know off the top of my head how I would be able to test that, and I need to be able to test it or else I can't build it. So I'll have to find a device that I can authenticate something. Maybe I'll use a GitHub for that, I guess. All right, so we need callback URL. Client ID, client secret, callback URL. Your client secret and callback URL. I want to keep the name as similar to what it looks like in GitHub. So I know I use redirect UI up here. But that's because in OAuth 2, that's the terminology that they're going to use. And from a developer perspective, I want to keep the names of my parameters and my config things as similar to what I'm actually doing. Even if I think, like, even if I was of the opinion that callback URL is just a bad name, I would still call it that because that's what GitHub uses. And if this is going to be a GitHub integration, I want it to match. Callback URL. All right, so we'd have a config like that, and then I think I want it to, well, my client is it's an OAuth 2 client, so I'm also going to need to have module GitHub equals GitHub client. I don't even know if I need in-memory storage, but let's assume that we do. Okay, so we want something like that. That way we can come down here and say GitHub. Did I call it client? Yeah, I call it GitHub. I'm able to do GitHub. What do I call this? Auth URL? Sure, that sounds good. No, I feel like I should call it something like get URL. There we go. Get URL config, and then have that. I really gotta get away from using LWT, but whatever. We're too late. We're too far in now. Take a function. Actually, I don't need that. I'm gonna build the URL. The URL and just like the authorization URL up above. it's gonna just return the value directly. Right here. It's gonna attempt it, and then it's gonna match. Oh, right. We'll use a result type. So get authorization URL. I feel like I want to do that. I want to name that the same here. Get authorization URL. That way it kind of looks like it. So we'll do a match with, and we'll do okay. I think I'm just going to pass URL. I don't think there's anything else that I need to pass. I don't know if we've got state. Is it using all the same stuff? I guess I don't know. Active app user. Authenticating. Active app user. Would you have to take actions on behalf of itself rather than the user? You should use an installation access token for authentication. I think this is the one that's going to be what people are using to sign into stuff. Yeah. GitHub, the one that uses GitHub as an identity provider. Okay, so that's this one. Let's go here. So let's use an extra program. Wow. It took so long for you to find your way back. But here you are. And you're banned. When a user installs an app on their account or organization, they grant the app permission to access the organization and respond to repository resources that are requested. Okay, but like what do I do? How do I do it? Yes. Generate user access token. Okay. Once users authorize your app, you can generate a user access token. So they're going to click the authorization URL, and it is going to allow them to authorize, and it's going to take us back to the callback. I don't know what I need to pass to this URL though. About authentication. Dang, this is where I just was. Okay. Here. I attribute app activity to the app steps the user should activate. Okay. Man, I much prefer OAuth apps. It seemed like, I swear I saw something about authorizing. Where am I sending these users? Idea. Let's see if the AI can figure it out. I've got an ecosystem now. I'm not gonna brag. Let's stay logged out. Alright, here we go. Redirect users to GitHub authorization. Scope and state. Okay. That was the web application file. Okay. About the user authorization callback URL. Yeah. Set up URL permissions, webhooks, visibility, custom badge. I already did that. Authenticate. Not authentication. Authenticate is an app. Authenticate on behalf of users. Wait. Okay. Something. There's gotta be state. State. Do they support Pixie? Ah. Okay. Kind of doesn't seem like they do. Proof key change are not supported this time. Okay. Pixie not supported, so there will not be a code verifier. We'll just grab this, because that's easy. Call this URL. Let's make this with GitHub. I should make this a button. Styles equal. I should make it a button. How do I make it a button? Padding. Nope. 4 pixels. And then background color. Nope. I'm trying to remember if I need quotes. I think I do. Black. Color white. We want the text color to be white. Border radius 4 pixels. No, let's make it curvy. 8 pixels. That's fine. That'll work. And then we will handle the error case. I got the formatter. Gotta get the formatter. Message. Where'd you go? Message here. No. Drop that in there. Okay, so we got the type hole. GitHub doesn't exist. It's complaining about this module. But that is unfortunately where we're gonna have to leave it for today because it is now 8:30. So let's make sure my sound is off. Twitch.tv. Let's see who's on in the Software. Where is software? Oh, categories. There we go. Let's see who's online. Is there any OCaml people? Oof, me. Okay. Let's see who's building something interesting. There's Janet. Oh, there's Daniel. Fixing stuff, TypeScript, Clojure, functional programming. Alright, well. Let's see what Janet's up to. Lock-picking minigame. Alright. Let's raid her. Janet Acar.